Reddit has launched its newest wave of community bans. They are wiping out certain subreddits that they believe incite violence or lead to certain forms of hate speech. Now, people are not happy about this, especially considering the fact that Reddit had already done something similar back in 2015, and people who like to engage in this type of rhetoric feel like their speech is being attacked. Now, Reddit's leadership is taking aim at content and groups that incite violence, and the first group the groups to fall are Nazi and Nazi sympathizing subreddits. Okay, so they released a statement about this, and they wanted to clarify what they meant in regard to subreddits or communities that are unacceptable on the platform. They said that going forward, we will take action against any content that encourages, glorifies, incites, or calls for violence or physical harm against an individual or a group of people. Likewise, we will also take action against content that glorifies or encourages the abuse of animals. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. This applies to all content on Reddit, including memes. So, so far, as we film this video, they have done away with 18 communities, and that includes Nazi, European nationalism, and Poll. Those are the subreddits that we're talking about. Poll is apparently some sort of extension of 4chan, so you can understand what kind of conversations would take place on that kind of subreddit.
Yeah, so they also got rid of sex with horses. Which actually is part of my point. As usual, Reddit is a private company, they can do whatever they want, and it's not a First Amendment issue. B, if someone doesn't want sex with horses on their website, come on, you gotta be able to understand that, right? So they're not in favor of bestiality and they're not in favor of Nazis. And they're certainly not in favor of encouraging violence. So I think it's the right move. I think they have every right in the world to do that. But I do want to draw a distinction here. The Daily Stormer, which is a neo-Nazi website, which is atrocious, horrible, terrible, etc., has been rejected by several web companies, and now they're in the dark web. And the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which fights for internet freedom, disagrees with that, and I agree with them. I think that is a different situation because that is their own website, and it's not allowed to be on the regular internet. Now, it's not necessarily a government issue, so I'm not saying it's unconstitutional. I just don't agree with that policy.
Right, but now you're talking about, various providers, like, where you would go buy a URL or an online address for your website. Now you're essentially, you're not pressuring them because you're not saying that they should face any type of legal ramification, right? But those are private businesses as well. GoDaddy, for instance, they get to make a decision. If they don't want to host that website, they don't have to host that website.
No, I know that is absolutely true legally, and it is a super hard decision because, they're Nazis, right? So it's very understandable why GoDaddy or any other company wouldn't want to be associated with them in any way, shape, or form. But if every one of those companies does that, but then they start to expand a little bit and go, okay, well then I also don't like this kind of content, and I also don't like that kind of content. That's a dangerous precedent. TYT membership gets you commercial-free Young Turks. Download it, stream it, podcast it, get all the network shows, and support independent media. TYTnetwork.com/join.